Hey, bestie. Hey, boo thing. I am so glad that you are here. Okay, I'm coming begging. Okay, I'm coming begging because a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? Okay, so if you have not already taken care of these little tiny housekeeping things, I would love for you to do that now. All right, I need you to please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I hope that by the end of the episode, at least you will have liked the video, comment in the comment section, and last but certainly not least, would you please share this episode with someone that you know would enjoy it also. It's coming up in mom of 4, plant mama of 7, music lover with a banging playlist, and 2 left feet, entrepreneur of over 17 years, and though a professional, y'all, I'm still an around the way girl at heart, earthy, eclectic, free spirit, a few piercings, and a few tats, road trip lover, random as you fill in the blank. Living, learning, loving, praying, and laughing my way through this amazing adventure called life. And I am here to help you do the same. Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is Life Unscripted. Welcome. Now, let's jump into this week's amazing episode created especially for you and yours. Hey, you guys, and thank you for joining me for another edition of the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. And so, if you follow the show, I don't even have to tell you where I'm at. Where am I at, y'all? Where am I at? Yes, you're right. If you guessed that I'm in my mommy hideout, my Cheryl's she shed. For real, that's the walk-in closet sitting on the floor. Where? In the dark. Yes. That's where I'm at. You're right. That's where I'm at. I'm in the closet. On the floor. In the dark. Politicking and fellowshipping with you, boo. And, this episode's actually going to wrap up my first season of the show. Oh my gosh, this has been so awesome. But yeah, the first season is wrapping up. And I started off the season with a trailer, and you may or may not remember it. And if you don't remember it, or if you never heard the trailer, just, peruse through the library of my episodes and find the trailer and listen. It's nothing like huge, but it was like my little thing. It was like a little teaser when I first started this show. And and so anyway, if you remember it, if you do follow the show and you heard it, and it says Mondays or Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other weekend, whatever. Okay, so I told you all, if you tuned in, that I would explain what that meant, right? So you got to go back and listen to the trailer so you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you all who have listened and I'm going to explain what that means finally. It took me to the end of the season to do this. And it's just because this is a teaser, but I do want to address it. Okay, so the trailer said it said Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other weekends. And then it said something like, you want to know what that means, tune in and I'll tell you, blah, blah. And so the Life Unscripted podcast, first of all, the name came from the fact that as much as we like to plan things, we want to have our hands on things, and we think we are running the things. We are not running none of the things. God is running all of the things. He's letting us think we doing something around here. We ain't doing nothing around here. And with that being said, as much as we try to plan life, a lot of times life can be experienced unscripted. It's not the plan. It's just, it happens, right? And we can deal with it. Obviously, we deal with it. But, there are some things that we can plan and some things we cannot. And that's just the way it has been. And with that being said, that's where the name came from. So the Tuesdays, Thursdays, every other weekend piece that was in the trailer, that refers to me being a mommy, living life unscripted in ways when I first became a single mom, because I was married at first and all this good stuff. Excuse me there. But when I became a single woman or a divorced mom, and I began dating again, the person that I was dating was wanting to see me. He wanted to know when he could spend time with me. When could we, do whatever. And I was a mom, still a mom, but, I was so focused on being a mom, and still am, that I took very special care to protect my time that I had set aside for my babies. They come first and foremost for me, and they always have. And so that being said, the person that I was dating for a number of years, when we very first started talking and dating, getting to know each other, he's like, he wanted to see me. And I would always say, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm running my businesses, I'm doing something. I always had something to do. I was just busy. And he was frustrated because he's like, well, what about me? Like, when am I going to get to see you? What about me? Do you have time for me? And that's a very fair question. And at the time, I had no sense of time as it pertained to some sort of work-life blend or work-life balance or whatever you want to call it. And I was just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I was newly divorced or newly going through a divorce or whatever. And I just was trying to do all the things. I had to do everything. I was the mom. I was running the house by myself, running the business by myself. And I was just trying to figure it out. And I had not yet figured it out. So the kids were up all hours of the night. School would be the next morning, and poor kids were not going to bed on time. And I did not have dinner ready on time. Homework was not done on time. Baths and showers were not given on time. And it was just a mess. I was just a mess. And it would clearly be 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm just now getting the kids to bed. And they have school in the morning, it was just crazy. But I was doing the best I could at the time. I didn't know what to do. I was new at being a single mom, and I just didn't have it together at the time. And I had not one inkling of an idea that I even needed or was missing or deserved time for me. Like, I wasn't even a part of the equation. Like, it was all about the business, all about ministry, and most importantly, all about my kids. That's all I thought about was my roles, my positions. I didn't think about me. It was like, me, who's that? Why do you matter? These kids matter, the business matter, your ministries or whatever matters. That's what matters. And so anyway, this person that I was seeing was kind of getting a little frustrated. Like, but what about me? I don't get to, and he understood all the things that I had on my plate, but he still obviously wanted some kind of time and attention. And that was fair. But that being said, I started to look at my time differently. And I began to look at prioritizing myself differently. And, whereas that was not even on the radar, even in my thought process initially, it became something that I had to think about. And so with doing that, I decided, you know what? Yeah, I am a mom, and yeah, I do have this business, and yeah, I am in the church doing this or that, but I deserve to to be Tiffany too. And I deserve to figure out who that even is and what does she even like and what should she even do at this phase of her life. And that being said, I began to carve out time for me and time for him. And we both deserve that. And so the kids began to go with their dad on Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other weekend. And I knew that that was going to be time that they would be gone and I would get a bit of a breather, a little bit of a break, just to kind of regroup, just to kind of think, just to kind of breathe. For those couple of hours, they would be gone. They would just be gone, maybe a few hours in the evening. Once their dad got off work, he'd come in, pick them up, take them, get something to eat, hang out, do homework a little bit and bring them back. You know how it goes. And so it wasn't like it was long, but it was at least some kind of time that I would have for me just for a little bit. So Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other weekend. Now they did stay with him every other weekend sometimes. But that became the time that I could look forward to being able to spend time with me, learning about me, enjoying me, doing nothing but sitting there and just enjoying peace and quietness. I deserve that. And then other times I would use that time to connect with friends, connect with family, connect with my new boo. And that was symbolic of mommy time, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other weekend. And so I knew that if I could have the kids, if we could have dinner, have baths, do homework, spend a little time together as a family, we would read stories together, play board games together, just hug on them and love on them. And they'd pile in my bed and, we would watch, a movie or something together. But I knew that by 9 o'clock, we would have done our prayers and whatever we needed to do, and they would be gone to bed. Mommy time is up. I've done all I needed to do with them for the evening. And if I could get them to bed by 9, I'd be in the shower by 9 o'clock, 9:05. And then I knew that by 9:30, I could be settled in bed and I would have time that I could spend talking to my new boo. Or, he could, once the kids were asleep, and it wasn't to be a booty call, y'all. It wasn't because of a booty call. It was just that I wouldn't let my kids see anybody that I was dating. Like that wasn't going to happen unless I knew we were going to be solid, we were going to be something. So, as a mom, very protective of that space. And I know people have different opinions about that. Different people decide they introduce their kids to a new person. I mean, some do it right away. Some do it within a few weeks or a few months. Some never do. I'm on the end of the some that never do. I introduced him to one person, and that was the person that I ended up dating, which ended up being this guy here, that I ended up dating. We were together for a number of years. So obviously the kids were around him. But that took a while for me to let them see him, meet them, any of that. Like it just, it wasn't going to happen for a while. And after that relationship ended, which has been 7 years, I've been single, y'all, for 7 years. 7. Do you hear me? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 friggin' years I've been single. My gosh, come on, y'all. Pray for us, sis. The Lord sent me a good in this time. But yes, I've been single 7 years. But anyway, as I digress. And so in all this time that I've been single, they have not been able to meet anybody. Like I do not introduce my kids to anybody. Now I've talked to people. We've been talking, I've got a friend or two that I've had over the years. I'm not saying I've just not dealt with a guy in 7 years, but I've not been in an official relationship with anyone in 7 years. No, I haven't. I've been single, solo, dolo, rolling solo for 7 years, not in any kind of defined, committed relationship. Yeah, it feels like forever. Oh my gosh, it sucks. But hey, it is what it is. And so as I've had little friends, guys I was kind of dating on the side a little bit, talking to, hanging out with, I never introduced my kids to them because I just needed to feel secure and feel solid that this was going to be something. Because if it wasn't, I didn't want people just coming and going in and out of their lives, and I just didn't want them to just be put through that, like getting to know someone, maybe growing to like that person or look forward to seeing that person, being accepting of that person into their mom's lives, and then that person disappearing on them. And so to save them from that trauma, I just decided when I'm for real about somebody, or when it feels really good and we are defined as a real couple and we have goals and we're trying to get somewhere, they would meet that special man. But until then, no. And I don't regret it because over the years, nobody panned out, or hasn't so far. I know that somebody will. Somebody's going to come and they're going to stay. I know God's going to send a great man my way, but our way. But at this time, that has not yet happened that I've seen. And so I do not regret the fact that I didn't let them meet anybody that I was talking to or dealing with or dating on the side, because, where are they at now, But anyway, but all that being said, mamas do need their time. Daddies need their time. But the kids need their time too. So that being said, yes, we want our Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend, or whatever that looks like for you. If you are a parent, yeah, you do want your time, or you deserve and you do need your time. If you don't recognize that, you do. Because you got to fill yourself up so that you can pour from a full vessel. You cannot operate from an empty vessel. You cannot operate from an empty well. What can you pour if there's nothing in there? So you got to be filled up. And so you do need that time just to kind of steal away a little bit and just do some things for you so that you can come back and do some awesome things for and with your babies. My babies aren't babies anymore. My oldest is 20, 20 and 18 and 14. And then the baby girl, she's 7. But so they're not babies, but still, they still deserve mama. And mama deserves mama sometimes too, And I want to say that because I know I've encountered people in the past that as they are dealing with things, you could be on either end of the spectrum. Sometimes you're dealing with things, but you can't even deal with them properly because you don't take the time to stop from what you have on your plate, whatever your roles and responsibilities are, whether it's work, whether it's church, whether it's a civic organization, whether it's the kids or other duties. You just keep going because those things are depending on you. And you don't even stop to deal with what you need to deal with that you're not dealing with for you. So there are people that are on that end of the spectrum. And then there are people who do stop and they take so much time for themselves that the kids are neglected. They are so focused on their issues, their love life, their boo, their things, their whatever, that the kids come second. They're secondary. I know of several people who the kids are like an afterthought, and we have to find balance and be able to figure that out a little better sometimes, because they deserve us even if we're going through, even as you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing, your matters of life, whatever your frustrations, anxieties, depression, whatever you're dealing with, be it with a mate, be it with business, career, money, emotional things, health things, whatever the things, all the things, the babies still need you. They still need you too. And when I say babies, I say all of my babies. I don't care if they're 35, they still your baby. But no, seriously though. But those who are your young dependents, 18 and under, still living with you or not, So for the custodial parent that has the child or children, they're depending on you. And yes, you might be going through something. Yes, you might be having a relationship issue or financial issue or job issue or whatever issue, friendship issue, emotional issue, blah, 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 issue. Do not neglect your child or children. because of the issue, because of this person, and you give all your attention to this person, this relationship, or whatever else. No. That's all out of order. And when it comes to the non-custodial parent, the babies need you too. You might not have custody. They may not live with you, but they still deserve you too. And so that custodial parent that has the responsibility of feeding them, clothing them, giving them a home, helping them with homework, washing their clothes, making sure they have their showers, making sure they have whatever, making sure they are at soccer practice, basketball, cheerleading, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and whatever else. Okay, that's not all on them because they didn't do it by themselves. That baby came from both of you. And so I don't want to single out like either gender or role as it pertains to, a mama versus a dad, because there are single dads out there too, and the mom doesn't have custody. I am more specifically speaking regarding moms who have custody and the father who does not, because more often than not, that's the kind of the way that it more than likely works. Even though we do know that there are men that have custody of the kids and the mom is free as a bird. So I'm not, discriminating there. But the parent that does not have that child in their custody, most of the time it's the man, they seem to take for granted that the parent that has the child in their custody, they don't get to clock off the job. Like they're always a parent. They have got to wake up and be mama. They got to go to bed being mama. They have to work and cook dinner and do the laundry, raise the child, try to have a life of their own, with friends or a different mate or whatever their dreams and aspirations are or whatever it is. And they still have to be mama. And daddy, who gets to run free, gets to decide, do I want to show up this week to pick them up for my weekend? Do I even want to commit to every weekend or every other weekend or not? Do I want to call and check on that child today or not? And I don't think it's fair that the custodial parent, if they don't help the child with the homework or contact the teacher about the child's performance in school or whatever, it may not get done, because sometimes a non-custodial person, they just kind of take it as an out. They might pay child support and they're like, that's it, I'm going to pay. And I'm paying the parent that has a child that's like my high price babysitter. I'm going to pay them and they can do it all. I don't have to do anything because I'm paying child support. And that's not the way it should work, guys. And when I say guys, I mean gals too, for those who might be on that, wearing those shoes. And I say all that to say that, starting to go back to what the purpose of this episode was, is to say that as a parent, even as an adult, you might not have a child, and that's okay too, obviously. But we need time for ourselves. We deserve time for ourselves. And that's where I was starting off at. So this Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend thing was time for me. That's what that represented, was time for Tiffany, time to be me, explore me, figure me out, sit there and do nothing if I don't want to. That's me time. That's self-care time. That's time for friends. That's my time away from my responsibilities. That's where I was going with this whole episode. But, and so if there are children involved, on both ends, custodial, non-custodial, whatever, everyone needs their time. The kids need their time too. Everybody needs their time. But I wanted to just kind of add a caveat to that, to say, don't get so caught up in taking the time for you that you don't give much deserved time for the kids. And if you are far enough away from your kids to where it may not be possible to be physically like hands-on with them, maybe there's distance involved, maybe they are, not in the same city that you are in, there are still ways that technology has helped us and afforded us opportunities to still make connections. So, at night, in the evenings, you can still read with your kids. You can still pray with your kids. You can still ask them how their day was. You can still FaceTime them or do some kind of video chat with them. You all can play a game virtually. There's Words with Friends, and I don't know what these other games are, but you can play 2-player games. Like one is one place and one somewhere else. You can play spades. What's that one called? I can't think of the name, like Spades Plus. You can play Spades, or whatever it is. Like, I know, look, y'all, I'm from the hood. Okay. So yeah, we play spades, we play dominoes, all of that, all the things, spades, domino, bingo, whatever. But seriously though, there are ways that you can still connect. You can get, paint and like a canvas, and you can make sure the kids have paint and brushes and a canvas, and y'all can paint together. You can do karaoke together. Like I said, you can read, you can do puzzles together. All these things can be done virtually if there's distance. You can review their homework with them. You can, it's all kinds of stuff y'all can do. And so you don't just get off the hook. You can still check in with your child's teacher, possibly. I don't know. There are people that have legal issues going on where they can't touch, they can't. But if there's none of that going on with you and there's no restrictions, then, you can still help out too and reach out to the school and say, hey, how's my child coming along? Is there something we need to do or work on with our child? You don't have to be in the same household to be concerned, to help with homework, to check in on the education piece, to, do whatever needs to be done. So while we are taking time for ourselves, for self-care, because we need that, don't take so much time that you neglect the kids or you neglect your responsibility. So just that's enough there. But I had to say that. So anyway, back to it all. The Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend. Let me know what your arrangements are. If you are a parent, whether you are single or still with the parent or somebody, somebody's helping you co-parent or whatever. So no matter what your marital status is, if you're a single parent, if you have if you got the Cosby Show going on, tell me, what do you do to break away for a little bit of self-care time for you? What is your self-care routine so that you can have your Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend per se? I'd love to know. Visit the website organizedenergy.co/podcast and let me know. Again, organizedenergy.co/podcast, and tell me what your routine looks like. How do you take time out for you? Okay, I love you and I thank you for listening. And as I prepare for season 2, I want you to get caught up on all that you missed through season 1. And so I want you to start at the beginning and roll on through the end and enjoy. Share a few of these episodes with your friends. Text the links to them. Post them on your social media, the links, and let people enjoy the show. I love you so much and I appreciate all of your support. It's going to be fire. Season 2. Season 1, it was my first season, so I was just getting warmed up, y'all. But season 2, I'm about to be about that podcasting life. And I might do a few videos with you guys, so it's not just an audio situation. And I cannot wait to have a ball with y'all. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great week. Well, that's another amazing episode in the books. I appreciate you stopping by and listening because I do this for you. Now, it's your turn to join the conversation. Please weigh in on this episode by visiting organizedenergy.co/podcast and do 2 things. 1, leave a written or audio comment or questions regarding today's conversation. And 2, let your voice be heard by casting your vote in this week's poll based on this episode. And now that we're family, let's stay connected. Still, go to that same link, organizedenergy.co/podcast, and join my Love Shine community Why love shine? Because it's all about love and it's all about light over here at the Life Unscripted podcast. Or you can find me on your own simply by visiting Facebook. You'll go to Organized Energy Consulting, find our community and groups, and then join the Life Unscripted podcast after party. Also on Instagram, find me at Life Unscripted Podcast. On Twitter, it's Life Unscripted P. And show a little love by sharing this episode with a friend or two or three. Speaking of showing love, before I get out of here, I gotta remind you of something. I want you to always remember that self-love is one of the best forms of love, because no matter who comes, who goes, no matter who chooses you, who doesn't, who forgives you and who doesn't, who values you and who doesn't, so long as you choose you and you love you and you see value in you and you take time each and every day to celebrate yourself. Take time right now and write this love note to yourself. And not only do I want you to write it daily, but I want you to recite it daily in the mirror. Repeat after me. So you say your name and I'm going to say mine. Dear Tiffany, I love you. I forgive you. I accept you. I choose you. You have worth. You have purpose. You have value. You matter to me. And you matter to God. My words, my thoughts, my decisions today will prove this. Tiffany, you're already winning. You are already blessed. Keep going. Do not give up, because the very best is yet to come. All right, love shines. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Time is a commodity, and once it's spent, we can never get it back. So I truly appreciate you spending just a little bit of yours with little old me. That's a wrap until next time. I want you to know that I love you. I'm praying for you, and I want nothing but blessings, love, and light for you and yours. Have a great week, guys. Hi. Do you feel like you have way too much on your plate to get accomplished and very little time to get it all done? Is anxiety like on 1,000 right now? Take a deep breath and woosah, and then reach out to me, because I am a trusted confidant and accountability partner, and I can help you master time management and work-life balance as a professional. And because I specialize in helping to develop brands and the professionals behind them, I could also help you with your small business. So whether you're still in the conceptual stages of the business, or you're trying to figure out exactly how to launch, how to brand it, how to market it, how to look good, and how to operate efficiently so that you're working smarter and not harder, I'm still your girl. For more information about how I can help you, find me at organizedenergy.co, where I am helping to develop brands and the professionals behind them. It is awesome to listen to my show, but wouldn't it be amazing if you could launch your very own? Go from listening to launching when you pick up my new book called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. And of course, it was written by a podcaster for new and aspiring podcasters. Building a brand and operating a business can get a little hectic sometimes. I mean, there's a million things to do and you only have 2 hands, but not to fret. I've got some goodies for you. I want you to visit organizedenergy.co/spill the tea. Organizedenergy.co/spill the tea. I have curated a list of some of the favorite tools and resources that I use as I operate my business that have been amazing for me. They have helped me to save time. They have helped me to build my team. They have helped me to stay connected with my people. And I absolutely love so many of these tools. I want to share them with you, and it's free to download. So again, go to organizedenergy.co/spill the tea so that I can help you get started working smarter and not harder.